Previously on Pax Americana. Proxima Centauri A2 discovered leading to significant increases in private shipping companies' stock across the Republic. Hearings reportedly held by the military on what to do about the alien threat. More naval vessels leave their ports to begin their duties protecting the brave colonists now on the frontier. Next up on Pax Americana. Aliens attempt to strike frontier colonies. Navy reports all attackers destroyed, no losses on the Terran side. New ships ordered as part of emergency spending authorized by the President. Terra Nova is christened as Proxima Centauri becomes a focus for private and national interests alike. Hello and welcome back to the next episode of Aurora 4X Pax Americana. As you can see on screen, we are beginning to design our first experimental future designs which we'll be using in the year 2000. This such as the CVX and the KCX, DDX, CGX, FX, EX. And all of these vessels will be used together in a new generation of ships using Ion-class drives. And I've also now designed a cruiser-class variant at 17,500 tons with the purpose of supplementing and leading destroyer groups as well as assisting carrier strike groups with active sensors, deployment of missiles, and just in-base escort. So overall, we're really going to need to keep leapfrogging our designs and experimentality so that when, we come up with new threats, we're able to deal with them. Something that was really big when I looked at designing these ships specifically was what we'd already encountered. So that would be the aliens we found in Bernard's Star, their sizes, as well as their potential weapon loadout with missiles and other things. I said, okay, what we're going to need is a lot of destroyers. We're going to need bigger carriers because we clearly need more strike capability than what we already have. And as we can see here, we've actually detected some aliens here in Lalanid 21185, so I'm going to let my live self take this over. Okay, and here we are. We have our first operational mission engagement. Commander Freddie Lumpson in command of, not Freddie, Mr. Brooks Denen of Horatio Military Base, in command of the 5 Arbalest class vessels we have, will respond immediately to the threat. Move to location, follow the Quarion 001. This is a new kind of vessel of a new alien race we have not yet uncovered. Sensors are about 20 million kilometers out. We have 5 corvettes at our disposal, that is with 8 S-8 launch missiles. We should also have a frigate squadron en route. Where is that frigate squadron located? Not currently in system. Sole jump point is located over here. So they are currently orbiting Horatio Military Base, actually. Perfect. That's perfect for our needs. So we're going to dispatch immediately the frigate squadron, Patrol Squadron 2, which is already in orbit. It looks like we're going to catch this threat, and we're going to order them to immediately follow as well. In that case, I'm actually going to have Corvette Patrol Squadron 1 hold off and stay in orbit as the frigate squadron heads out to meet the target. Okay, I'll be very careful about those increments. I didn't realize how close we were. It's coming right towards us. It's only a single ship. We will get actual information on what it will look like soon enough. It's beginning to move away now. However, we are faster. Slightly faster anyway. About 300 kilometers per second. Which is very, very nice. Which means we will eventually catch up on this vessel. Though it's going to take quite a bit of time because the differential is not that large. Vessel is rating in at 974 tons. With a thermal signature of 198. Which indicates that it's much larger than that 974 because that thermal signature is much, much larger itself. Range on missiles is about 10 million kilometers. So we will need to get within 10 million kilometers before we can actually go ahead and use any of our missile systems. Okay, we're within 10 million. I want to give us a little bit more redundancy because missiles are going to take some time to actually arrive on target. Again, we don't know what kind of capability or defense that the enemy ship will have available to it, so I want to be cautious. So I'm going to give it a few more hours before I order launch, and we're going to launch one of the first frigate squadron's missiles to go. So, Frigate Squadron 2, Arnhem, we're going to order that you fire 8 of the missiles at the target. So, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Load all missiles. SIM 4As. Load against target. 6 million kilometers away. Open fire. Sync fire on. We've detected that it has some kind of electromagnetic rating, which is concerning to say the least. Alright, launch has occurred. 8 missiles are away. Cease fire for now. And those are going at 27,000 kilometers per second, so we should see them go in here pretty quickly. They've got to cover about 6 million kilometers of distance, and they should be able to boom. We scored hits, however, the enemy armor does appear to have held, with about 70% chance to hit the target. Alright, it seems that 8 missiles will not be enough. Load all other missiles, ready them, and prepare to fire. Open fire control of the Arnhem. 24 missiles are away. Go for ceasefire. 30-second increments. Missiles incoming. 13 nuclear detonations. 3 penetrated the hull. They shot down 4 of the weapons. They do seemingly have stopped 32 missiles total, which is a bit insane when you think about it. Okay, Kochi, let us fire half missiles then. Because it seems like we probably got through most of the armor rating, and again, there's no way that's a 1,000-ton vessel based on the actual damage we're inflicting on it. So 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Assign ordnance. And open fire on target. Sync fire on. Missiles away. 13 nuclear detonations. Enemy speed has changed to 2,000 kilometers per second. We have 10 penetrating hits. Looks like we're going to have to unload the rest. This is kind of giving me some information in regards to how many actual missiles we're going to be needing to destroy enemy ships like this. And what we may need to do is reinforce the garrison here if this is going to occur. Okay, missiles coming in. Enemy ship has been wrecked. Successful engagement for Frigate Patrol Squadron 2. The UTS Kochi has completed its operational mission. I'll see you guys in the commentary. Okay, and with that now sorted, I'm ordering my patrol squadron to get back to its regular route and, well, reload itself and get itself ready to go for that regular route. We've also now found another vessel. This time it's going to be in 61 Cygni, so we're being probed. And we have another ship of the same class, this time in Cygni. For defense, we have Corvette Patrol Squadron 1 available. We also have Frigate Patrol Squadron 1 in the nearby area. So with Corvette Patrol Squadron, we're going to move them over immediately towards the contact. So go towards contact, follow, and I'm going to order Frigate Patrol Squadron 1 to remove their orders and head towards New Eden immediately. Alright, we're on the intercept course. And let's see if we can deal with, again, these probing attacks that are occurring on our colonies. Okay, 974 tons. Exact same class, it's heading straight towards. Again, we are faster, so we will be able to eventually pick this guy off. He is going quite a weird direction here. We're going to need to get into 10 million kilometer range before we can do any kind of hits. Okay, we're in range. Now, based on previous experience, I'm going to order that all missiles fire. We have 40 missiles in this fleet total. All missiles fire, and let's go ahead and do assign fleet. Fleet sync fire on. And let's do open fire control, assign fleet. preparing to fire. What's the problem? Can we not fire? Oh, we don't have a target ready yet. There we go. Target ready. Damn it, Stave. Why did you launch? Oh, it's because I didn't set it up correctly. Assign fleet, assign fleet. Well, 8 missiles are going anyway. Okay, all missiles are away. Corvette Patrol Squadron, we're going to keep following because we do have laser weapons if need be. 30 seconds to go. Missiles going for impact. Okay, enemy ship appears to be disabled. 18 penetrating hit successfully disabled the vessel. It's currently sitting. Whatever was obscuring its tonnage is now destroyed, and it appears that it is now afloat in space, bleeding out air. Alright, we're going to check what's our lasers on this. 120,000 kilometers on the range. However, we don't have... God damn it. I don't have a good beam fire control on this, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. Though, based on the fact it's been disabled, I think we can probably get away with it. So let me just ceasefire the fleet. So, ceasefire. Yep. Set up laser. Go for target. And we're going to head over. Yeah, we don't look like tracking on this. But the tracking is not going to matter here. Okay, we're going to have a minimum distance of 110,000 kilometers. So we're going to approach the target, and we're going to finish it off with our laser weapons. It may still have weapons capable of returning fire, though we did a heavy number on it with those missiles. So it's, I'm not expecting too heavy return fire if we do achieve one. We're not sure on the range of their weapons, what capability they have available to them. Again, we have to get to about 110,000 kilometers before we can engage. Okay, we are within range. I'm going to order all weapons to begin firing. Assign fleet. Open fire. Assign fleet. Okay, turn off sync fire because we don't need it anymore. And begin firing. Enemy ship down. Successful engagement for Corvette Patrol Squadron 1. Let's have it head back to New Eden Colony. So have it refuel, resupply, load ordnance. And we're going to have Frigate Patrol Squadron 1 keep on its task. So what we're going to have it head over to New Eden. Not New Eden, we're going to have it head over to Earth. Alright, and I'll see you guys in the commentary. Okay, with that all now sorted out here, no more aliens to deal with in 1985, 17th of October. So we're setting up our patrol squadrons back to where they were going. Now, before I was interrupted with these blasted aliens, I was talking about our future design capability. When we're playing at a low research rate and we're playing in Aurora, we have to keep in mind that our development programs have to co-align with themselves and they have to be thought about far in the future. So whenever we're rolling out the first generation of ships, we need to think about what we're going to be thinking with the second generation of ships. Of course, you can't plan too far ahead, but you have to plan a decent amount. And each ship that is used at this low research rate is really more impactful than otherwise. One of these frigates, for example, might stay in service for another 15, 20, 25 years. And, their capabilities can be really important. We may, include block upgrades and other additions, but the overall hull and the engine capability and the weapon capability is going to stay the same, so long as the ships can actually perform their role. So as you can see here, I'm taking my sweet time to reset up these orders because they are quite complex orders, and I want to make sure that they are all correct in terms of our patrol route between Lalanid and Earth. Some really big things. If you guys are enjoying the content and do want to see more though, remember to like, comment, subscribe, really does help me out. And I've been loving the feedback of you guys in terms of the post commentary. I decided to do combat live commentary because I think it's important to have the live reaction and live thought process in those very intense and interesting moments when they do occur. And so, yeah, again, we're setting up our frigate squadrons here. The Kochi securing its kill, the first ever kill against another alien threat. And in a lot of ways, this occurrence, what's happened, has kind of really thrown the military into panic mode because we don't know where they're coming from, and while we've been able to deal with them, who knows if they have more ships. And so we're going to order a 5th light carrier of the same class, and we're also going to order additional destroyers. Now, these are going to be the last generation destroyers, but from my understanding, based on ship numbers from other alien threats, we're going to need a hell of a lot more destroyers than I originally believed if we are going to successfully do what we're trying to do here. We're also going to need more light carriers. Currently, our carriers can carry 16 F-8A fighters. That number needs to increase substantially if we are to effectively succeed in our mission. So 16 fighters that can fire a total of 64 missiles. If we double that number, we could fire 128 missiles, and that is what the CVX is looking to do at 60,000 tons, mammoth of a ship. We also finish up the upgrading of the infrastructure at the primary shipyard for the carriers, and we start retooling for the Akan class kind of interim light carrier that will take our carriers up to 30,000 tons to get those additional fighters in the fight as quick as possible while we're waiting on the larger CVX to be developed. Of course, that CVX is going to require a large shipyard to be able to support, and that's going to be a priority, because what I plan to have happen is us to have light carriers and fleet carriers, and the light carriers are going to be something that will be in fleet leaders, small patrol group leaders, and will be able to defend outer colonies or supplement even our larger carriers in duty. Because large carriers are going to be very, very expensive, and it's something that we can't exactly throw around everywhere, and I'm very aware of that fact. In fact, I'm looking at minerals right now, as you can see here, because I'm wondering, okay, how much are we actually spending on these ships? Because spending has significantly increased to the point where I'm a bit concerned that we're going to start running out of minerals. Now, luckily for us, we've gotten pretty lucky with our systems, and so I don't feel that we're in too much of a risk. And we're going to start shipping over resources from Proxima Centauri, 61 Cygni, and Leonid to 1185. And so, again, we're incrementing along. We welcome 1986 into the year. And as I can see here, Proxima Centauri, we finish up surveying, and we actually see that it has a lot of uridium and a lot of gallacite at really good accessibilities, which is awesome. And that means that we're going to have plenty of gallacite for, well, the most expensive gallacite thing, and that is missiles. We need to stockpile thousands and thousands of missiles if we are going to make our doctrine work, because reloads are the biggest bane to us overall. Our research is continuing and primarily focusing on engine technology, weapons, and terraforming. And in fact, what I'm going to do is we're going to start transporting terraforming installations to Mars as part of an initiative to begin the first terraforming of a world on the Martian colony. Now, you may have asked, well, you talked about last episode that, Proxima Centauri was a perfect terraforming target. And yes, that's true, but it's still 10 billion kilometers away, and terraforming installations are actually quite big. And so I'm going to first kind of, in an RP sense, terraform Mars as it's close to home, and then begin terraforming further and further afield. Get that experience that's sorely needed. Now, in terms of actually securing our colonies, I decided that the actual corvettes, while they did a great job, if they can only destroy one of those ships and more ships do come, we're going to be in a world of hurt. One frigate equals about 5 corvettes, and so I order 3 frigates in the Frigate Defense Squadron 1 to be assigned to New Eden, especially now that it's reached 3.6 million people and is of a very vital nature to everything that we are doing. We also begin stabilizing the jump point to Proxima Centauri now that we know what is in Proxima Centauri, and that will help us begin colonization of the world as quickly as possible. I also have a look at resources and realize that, you know, again, we need to start really focusing on getting as many resources back to Earth as possible. And so I'm kind of observing, okay, what is going to be the best plan to get those resources there. And then we're continuing to increment along here. And we're also building a lot of FAAs at the moment for the Galactica vessel, which is of the Adamant class light carrier. And that is going to be opening up into its space trials, or, you know, its training operations shortly, to make sure that it's ready to operate and do its job. As we can see here, yeah, the Galactica currently have to sort out its fighter assignments because it's a bit muddled up. 3 Canada classes as well as the Galactica are in the same group together, and they're ready to go work together. The first half of our surface to orbit weapon plan has completed, so that is the Kalinsky planetary protection system, which will provide us with planetary protection using lasers and railguns, not railguns, Gauss, on the planet to ensure defense against enemy threats that may seek to interpede on our colonization efforts. I also noticed that New Eden actually has quite a few resources as well, so we'll eventually want to put mines there. However, low population counts means we can't really achieve that at this moment, and so my main goal is just expanding out New Eden's maintenance capability, as well as continuing to explore, as we can see here. The Lala and the Proxima Centauri are the most valuable, as well as 61 Cygni, and I'm quite surprised actually at how dense the solar system, or not the solar system, but the galaxy is. Every system we've seen so far is within 10 billion kilometers of Earth, and this means that, relatively speaking, we don't need that long range of ships that I previously had. Now, is that to say that we don't need longer range ships either way? No, as we continue to expand outwards and outwards and outwards. And it might be quite a while before we do actually find non-player races, because they are so far away, considering how many systems we've actually discovered and how few, how close they are in terms of density, right? Everything's packed quite tightly together. We have the Cyprus ordered to begin sending the first colonists to Proxima Centauri, and I decided to name the body Terra Nova and the colony Terra Nova Prime, you know, for the kind of emblematic sense of it's very close to Earth, it's a larger Earth, it's a new Earth, and it's new ground for our colonists. And again, New Eden and Terra Nova are both really big finds to find this early in the game, and they're going to be really awesome going forward here. So we start shipping over more and more infrastructure, and you got to remember, our infrastructure is now 4 times more effective on this planet than any other planet. So it's a really big deal, and if we can get temperature sorted out, we can make some, it'll be colony cost 0, we can just start shipping colonists as much as possible. I actually begin to upgrade our shipyard for colony ships, and I decide, okay, what we're going to need for the future is not so much what I have now, but more just an embiggening, you know, a big kind of cruise liner ship almost, you know, ginormous ships that are capable of transporting hundreds of thousands of humans at once to these planets. You know, and it may take, you know, a year to reach the planet, but those people, you know, in terms of scale, right, in terms of fuel efficiency, in terms of all these other things, it's going to be very, very efficient in that regard. I also ordered the expansion of ordnance, including the building of the new B classes for the SIM-4 and the SIM-8, using the newer engines and capabilities. So we order those to be built, and I also order for the F-8A to use the new SIM-4Bs as well. We also see more ships be constructed by the private industry. Private industry doing very well for itself overall. I'm pretty impressed at our overall expansion rate. We've been pretty good, considering it's been less than it's been about 10 years total, and we've explored about 20 systems. We have colonies now spanning 3 systems, and we'll continue to expand outwards. Most other systems don't have areas that I'm too interested in actually, you know, setting up, because our capacity for colonization is a lot lower than I would want to, and that's probably because of my deprioritization of colony ships, colony capability, colony vessels, and so that's something to definitely consider. So we've got the Galactica here. I'm going to sort it out as well. I'm also looking at, obviously, the TVX, some of my other designs here. I'm looking at the Adamant, how many actual fighters it can carry, and again, 16 fighters and 3 early warning spaceborne crafts, which are capable of detecting incoming missiles and vessels that are going to potentially impede on us. So there's the Galactica, and I'm going to order the Galactica. First off, we're going to set up its squadrons, but then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to put it into a training group. And that training group will begin training it up at the expense of fuel and maintenance supplies. It will begin training the carrier along with its fighter wing to get to 100% trading, and that 100% trading training will ensure that, you know, when the time comes, they will be able to fire immediately. They will be able to, you know, reduce the jump shock that they may face, you know, and all these very, very important things. They can make sure that training is at a decent and competitive level. Again, the use of light carriers is interesting. Historically speaking, like, they were used quite significantly, but then were phased out in you know, larger militaries for big, massive carriers to really get the benefits from scale, right? And that's kind of the way I'm thinking. But I'm thinking of you know, a light carrier kind of cruiser design that can both, you know, tug it out with other ships comparable, destroyers and frigates, but also provide squadron support and early support. Because why are fighters and all these other things very valuable? The reason they're valuable is because of the range capability and because of detection capability, right? No other, unless you use two size multi-stage missiles, which are very expensive, no other capability allows you to launch a fighter 250 million kilometers away and then launch ordnance at a target, right? So it gives such safety to your fleet and gives you such projection against an enemy target from so far away, and that is why fighters are so valuable. We'll continue our exploration, and in fact, we actually discovered 2 jump points in Proxima Centauri. It's like, wow, really, again? Like in Sol, we get 2 immediately, and so I decide, okay, we're gonna go have some exploration of these jump points, you know, around, because we've got quite a few around here. So we go to them. I also decided to launch buoys to make sure that, you know, anything could come through those jump points. I need to make sure that they are launched, because again, remember, unlike in other series, the NPRs are generated at the start of the game, and that means that they could very well come through jump points and explore through jump points that I don't even know about yet. And so that, unlike in other series, that would never happen previously. And we're going to be sending over the Lake Chaplain with new geosurvey deployable buoys. I actually figured out how to use them, so I'm going to actually try and use them more now. And we overall, everything is going pretty well as we race towards 1987. Also found a new jump point in the array, and again, we're going to about 20 systems now. The Galactica burning through its fuel because this is refueling all the fighters and everything else, but we're getting that training up. We've gone to about from 0% to 20%, and we want to get that up to, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100% training, and then they will be good to go. It'll take about 2 overhaul cycles per carrier group to really get that training up and running. And so that's something always to keep in mind. Okay. And as we can see here, we're going to begin the terraforming process. Well, not begin, but we've started the terraforming process on Mars. Start pumping in a safe greenhouse gas, aka Artesium, and that will begin to bring up the temperature of the planet to a more warm and habitable level for colonization. And if we can do that, I want to start shipping over maybe 100 million people to Mars, and then the purpose with Mars is we're gonna turn it into a secondary planet, maybe even add shipyards or colony or other capabilities, and kind of keep Mars, you know, military academies, research facilities, other things that will allow us to free up space from Earth in terms of the amount of people, right? We have a lot of people on Earth, and we want most of those people to work in shipyards or construction, and we want mining and other stuff like that being moved further afield. And as you can see here, I'm looking at Horatio military base, and I'm going to be sending over, I think, additional infrastructure to all the maintenance facilities to the base. So I want to improve their defensive capability. As we saw with New Eden and with Horatio, we need more to be able to defend properly. We're also continuing again with the exploration. Galactica running out of fuel once more, so I decided, okay, gonna call it quits for now on the Galactica refueling. I think we refuel once more, like train up for a bit, but then something breaks and then we change it out. We're switching about 40% training now, and then we're gonna continue to get that up. But you know, it does cause some issues, but we want to make sure that our ships are actually trained up, because that's something that I usually don't do as much as I probably should. So I always have to put the effort in to do so. Another empty system. Again, a lot of empty systems in the galaxy. I will say that's for sure. And we send Lake Chaplain over to test the buoys in Emi Lacerte. So we're going to load up the geological survey buoys, and then we're going to fire them at the planet. If you hit the waypoint on top of the planet, it will actually lock to the planet, and then you can fire the ordnance directly at the planet, and it will do so accordingly. Though, interestingly, I think I found a bug, which I'm not sure if it's ever occurred before, or ever been reported before, where what happens is we send the buoys and they geosurvey the planet, and then the survey ship that's still in system still geosurveys the planet after it's been geosurveyed, and we know there's no minerals, or there is minerals on the planet because of the buoy, so it's very, very odd in that regard. But as you can see here, the geosurvey buoys are going to each of the planets, and they're deploying and doing exactly the job that they're intended to do. So they will take quite a bit of time before they're done surveying, because these are quite large worlds. Emi Lacerte 3 will be the first world to be geosurveyed from the buoys, while our exploration ship is surveying some other planets. Military academies finish up on Earth. We start more deep space tracking stations, and we've got a lot of people retiring coming out, as well as, of course, the Galactica, having some maintenance problems. The first people really start to get going on Terra Nova Prime, with 400,000 people now living on the colony, living further away than ever before, at 10 billion kilometers away from Earth. Galactica again running out of fuel, but most importantly, what just happened is one of its engines just failed. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it overhaul and sort itself out. So and refuel itself, because it's running out of maintenance supplies and whatnot. Because when you're in training, you use like 4 times more, and you start actually using them in orbit. Like it's a big deal. We also have a lot of ships finishing up their overhauls, and we're going to have Earth begin overhaul, refuel, resupply, and thankfully now overhauling actually repairs engines and stuff, which is really awesome. And we'll continue to terraform. But as you can see here, we actually did finish up that survey, but right now the ship is still surveying, which is pretty interesting. You see, it's still geologically surveying, despite the fact that we already have the planet surveyed, as shown by the white outline. So that's an interesting bug, which I thought, no, I'm probably going to send it over to the forums, see what Steve thinks. And we got the Galactica going, we got everything else going, and we're kind of just waiting at this point. We found another jump point in Proxima Centauri, bringing us up to 4 jump points total. And I think I ordered the Pacific Ocean to go deploy another buoy, and we haven't decided to explore any of these yet, because I'm a bit afraid about what's behind the doors that lead to our most valuable system. But we do have, doorkeepers to make sure that if anything does come through, we will know what's happening. Our research, I was kind of contemplating maybe we need to redirect research efforts elsewhere, but I was kind of fine with that. We're waiting for better research rate, that will improve our research across the board. And we're also going to be sorting out the wing for our Galactica because I forgot to set up the E1s correctly. So we go ahead and land those on the Galactica and make sure they're all assigned up correctly. One completed orders. And yeah, another thing before we end the episode off, if you guys thanks for watching, but if you guys do want to, feel free to leave name suggestions for the new generations of ships in the comments below, and we'll get to it. I'll see you guys next time.